Hello everyone, I'm Cassie. Welcome to the Terrifier panel. As you all know, we're going to be having Damien Leone, director, FX makeup artist, and writer, and of course the terrifying Art the Clown, David Howard Thornton. So let's welcome them. Come on, louder.
Good to see you. Woo! Couple of you.
So I want to start by saying, as a huge Damien Art the Clown fan, I get super excited when I see Art the Clown grouped with all these horror icons. It's like, there's so many people aiming for that goal of becoming a horror icon. How do you guys feel about that? Like, wow, the goal is achieved.
Oh my God, I mean, look, it's the most amazing feeling in the world. It's so surreal. We're so grateful, so blessed. I mean, we're just genuine fans of the genre, you know? I'm just a genuine horror fan, grew up loving it, so I just put all that love for the genre into these movies, and I'm glad to see that it's bringing you guys some joy as well, so it's nice to know I can give back, because I got so much from the genre as a kid, and continue to as an adult, so it's absolutely wonderful. I love seeing it.
It's been absolutely insane. I absolutely can't wrap my brain around all of this. It's just been an insane past year, especially for us guys. And I just want to thank all you guys for making that possible. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you like made our dreams come true. It's been wow.
Damien, I've heard you created Art the Clown back in 2005, 2006. Is there any character or person that inspired you to do the art makeup?
The makeup, well, for his whole design, I wanted to stay as far away from Tim Curry's Pennywise as possible because he's still arguably the king of killer clowns. So if I was gonna, play in that sandbox, I didn't want to go anywhere near him. So that's why Art's very basic and he's just black and white. And when it came to designing, his prosthetic, I knew I wanted him to look a little inhuman. So I wanted to give him a little bit of a devilish appearance with the, or witch with the pointed nose, pointed chin, and then give him a little bit of a zombie going kind of look with the sunken eye sockets. And that's really, the design was really what grabbed people when I put him in the first short film, because he was only in it for like 3 minutes. If you've ever seen All Hallows Eve, the first video on the tape was my short film called The Ninth Circle, and Art the Clown's in the first 3 minutes, and then he's gone. And everybody who was just like, that clown at the beginning is like, what's the deal with that? Like, that is so insane. Like, that can't be it. There needs to be more. We have to keep going. I need to see what else you got with that guy. And that was it. So, I mean, it started there, but yeah, the design was really what grabbed people.
Yeah, so if you guys follow Damien's Instagram, he often posts behind the scenes, a little bit of the inspiration and everything. I'm asking this because I remember seeing a photo of your mom, and yes, I just think that's awesome. Yeah.
That's just a joke.
I was like, wait, is this for real?
No, I found a picture. My mother was showing me old photos of her when she was in her 20s. And the style back then, they would shave their eyebrows off completely and then just draw them on. They looked exactly like Art the Clown's. I'm like, now you can see the inspiration for those eyebrows.
I actually had a teacher at middle school, my earth science teacher. She was this old lady, and she had done that with her eyebrows. She had shaved them off. And they were and she had I don't know if anybody grew up watching the Bozo show back in the day, but there was his sidekick Cookie the Clown had those same kind of eyebrows and also the same hairstyle my teacher had. And it was just every single day I was I got Cookie the Clown as my teacher. So. She also thought we could plant Oreos and grow trees, donuts. She was told her
it's weird.
Yeah. There was a recycling plant that told her that those were donut seeds, and that we would grow donuts. And she was my earth science teacher. If you think about that, she thought we could grow donuts. It was her last year teaching. She was a sweetheart, oh bless her heart.
So Art Art the Clown can show like a soft side sometimes, but then the real thing comes out, which makes it like very entertaining. That's why I'm a super fan. Like, I love the character, so comical. And also being able to portray like a personality without a voice. I mean, props to you, David. That's super cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a man of many words. They're just all up in my head.
So David, have you ever wanted to do something that Damien said no, like it doesn't work with your character, or you want it to be more extreme, or?
Yeah.
What was it?
I can think of two things right off the top of the head. There was like one thing I want to do after I put the mashed potatoes in Barbara's face. I wanted to pull happy face on the mashed potatoes. Like, that's too far. But the other one, and you know what I'm going to talk about. Just the tip part. It's like I wanted to also make his into a balloon animal.
I said, there's no way you're putting that near your mouth.
Because we're too afraid what people will be doing with like photoshopping and everything. We're like, oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We always think of with the gore, with the kills. We're always thinking how much further can we push it, especially with that scene. Pun intended, was starting to get very distasteful.
Yeah.
So sometimes it could go too far. That people ask, is there any line you won't cross? Is there anything you won't do? And there are many times. I think about really extreme places we could take a lot of these scenes, and you wonder how much more extreme could it get. I believe that they could get more extreme. I do think, when I think of writing art, I put myself in the mindset. I always jokingly, I say, Jack the Ripper and Satan had a kid. And I'm like, what would he do in this situation? And so I really do take it far, and then I'm like, no, that's way too far. I gotta reel it in, and then we meet somewhere just over the lines.
I see. Damien, I know you're always like the mastermind behind the scenes, but have you ever thought of being in front of the camera? I'd love to see that happen. I know you have like a background of being a florist, I think that's how you call it?
I worked in a flower shop. I was a delivery.
I was like, what if? What if you come out like, hey?
Just to give tribute to the flower guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate being in front of the camera. I've had little cameos before, but I do have a little cameo, and you would never know it, in Terrifier 2. In Sienna's bedroom, she's got this giant poster on her wall. It's a fictitious 80s band called Queen Phoenix, and it's just a woman's face with all like neon colors, and I am that woman.
The funny thing is, I did not know this, and they're like our set designer and everything.
I'm really attractive.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
very attractive.
They're like, do you not see the Easter egg to Damien? And I'm just like, you're staring right at him. I'm like, I must be blind as a bat. They're like, but she's hot. They're like, that's Damien. I'm like, I had a crying game moment there, and I was like, oh no.
That's as far as I go.
Yeah.
I like to stay behind.
But he does make a hot moment.
That could be fun. So David, kill scenes seem super tricky. Did you ever actually get hurt during the process of one?
I wouldn't really say I got hurt per se, though I did. I did finally get to feel what it was like to be one of my victims at one point, because the flail I've used in the first two movies was, the cat o' nine tails, all the sharp instruments hanging off the ends. When I'm actually hitting people with this rubber, but that still hurts.
Oh.
And I'm
Like
sometimes, yeah, and I sometimes would accidentally hit them, and I'm like, I am so sorry, and they're like, it's okay. There's something to work with. I'm like, are you sure? Especially Samantha in the first film, she's like, I'm like, are you sure? Like, no, it gives me something to work with. I'm like, okay. Yeah, Sam's a beast. She's a beast. We love her. But when Sienna reverses the whole experience on me there, she's whipping it at me in one take. She whipped it and hit me right across my lips, and I'm like, whoa! I'm like, it stung. I was like, oh man, this is what they've been feeling this whole entire time. I was like, and Lauren's like, I am so sorry. Like, no, I deserve that. I'm like, no, I am sorry. so sorry that you have all had to experience that for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys.
Also, you, like Elliot, when Elliot gets whipped, when Jonathan's getting whipped, we were able to put like very thin padding under his clothes so he could take the blows better. Like even Dave, when Dave's getting whipped in the back, he had some padding on. But Lauren, I mean, you couldn't put padding on her because she's like half naked. You know, it is what it is. So she was catching nicks all over, and she was just taking it, you know. And then when she got to turn the tables on him, I mean, she really
She got it. She got it. And I think it was also pent up from all the times I'd been pranking her on set too, because I like to scare people, and she had a fear of clowns. And so I had a lot of fun with that. Just going from the first day I was on set with her and Kaylee, who played Brooke, they were in like the dressing room, and it was like, I just stood outside the window and I was just staring in. For like 10 minutes, I was waiting for this opportunity. I was like, for 10 minutes, they finally turn around and see me, and they just, they're like, welcome to Terrifier! And for the rest of the film, I was risking my life because Lauren is a black belt. She teaches kickboxing, and she could totally just destroy me if she wanted to. And I would just constantly just sneak up behind her when she's just talking to people, and I would just stand there and just make a face, and she turns around and I'm like right in her face. And every single time I was risking my life, but it's worth it for the scare. So I think she just turned all that against me that one night. I'm like, I deserve that. I really did deserve that.
So Damien, I am positive everyone would be very interested in having like maybe an origin story of art. Would you ever do that?
That's a bit of a spoiler, so I can't really talk about that.
Okay.
I mean, as you know, we're revealing a lot of information and unraveling a lot of clues and puzzle pieces as we go, because I knew that I wanted to turn this into a franchise with multiple films, and I didn't want to just explain everything right out of the gate in the first movie, the second movie. So especially in part 2, now we've really opened the door to this lore and this mythology that's happening. So a lot is going to be answered as we go forward. A lot in part in the next one. You're going to learn a lot about art and all this kind of supernatural things going on.
Yeah, we're excited about that. So anyone would like to do any questions?
Yes.
Questions? Okay. You with the glasses. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, over here.
Would you like to ask something?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else wants to go.
If y'all want to ask questions, you can come line up right here at the mic.
Oh, I see.
Fine, get out
They
there.
didn't tell me that.
You got that ESPN going on.
One question per, okay? We got short on time.
Hi, my name is Athena. I was wondering, how do you feel working with Chris Jericho? Can you dive into that? Because I was wondering, since I saw the second one recently, because my fiance fucking showed me, and it's on Chris Jericho.
So, yeah, oh my God, Chris is the man. And it's funny because it says in the beginning, and Chris Jericho in the credits, and then the movie ends, and you're like, did we see Chris Jericho supposed to be in this? And then of course there's the mid-credit scene. He is fantastic. He's a huge horror fan. I think one of his bandmates, when they were touring on the bus, was like, dude, you gotta check out this movie, Terrifier. He's like, I killed the clown. He's like, no, check out this scene. And he showed Chris the hacksaw scene, I believe, and Chris was like, oh wow, that's pretty freaking cool. And then he watched the whole movie, fell in love with it, met Dave at an art convention. They hit it off. I wound up meeting him at a con a few months later. He's like, if you ever have anything for me, he's like, I'd love to be a part of this. I went home that night. I was like, I'll write something for him, And he came down for like 2 days, and we shot that scene. And what I remember the most was making him eat that zombie platter over and over. And it was these disgusting, what was he eating? The eyeballs made of like yogurt or something. And they were just sitting out all night under the lights and getting so like rancid. And he was just like, how many more of these do I have? And I'm like, that's fucking Chris Jericho. If he gets fucking pissed, he's gonna like body slam me. I'm like, just one more, please, one more. It was so much fun, And also, that scene was completely different. We had to reshoot it because originally, if you know this story, it was very similar to what they do in Malignant. The reveal in Malignant of the tumor's face growing on the back, that's originally what happens in the cell when the nurse finds her. is art's growing on the back of Victoria's head. So we shot that whole thing. It's a whole different scene where Chris and Leah, the nurse, go into the room and they're like fighting with her and they're struggling and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And she rips the back of her head open and it's art. So we spent days, and then all of a sudden, I get a call one day. My buddy's like, "See that movie Malignant?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, watch the ending." He's like, "We're fucked." I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean?" And I go home and watch it, and it's exactly the same, and they did it so much better than we did, honestly. So I was like, we have to reconfigure this whole thing, and that's what. So we wound up doing the birthing scene now, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise, big time. But yeah. So, but working with Chris was absolutely amazing. Yeah, great guy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question.
Hi.
Oh.
I'll make this really quick. I kind of actually have a question for each of you. Okay. My first one is actually for David. Since I looked you up, I know you were in a TV show I used to watch called Gotham. So, what was it like being in the episode? I think it was like The Dark Knight, something about a boy. Were you playing orderly?
Yes.
How was that on set? Like working with David Jesus and all that?
Oh, I had a great time. I was just there for 2 different days. I played the orderly that I dump Butch Gilsey into Slaughter Swamp and turn him into Solomon Grundy. So that was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun. They actually built a whole entire swamp on Staten Island, which was really awesome. And the whole crew on that was really fun. I wanted to be on that show, so I'm a huge Batman fan. So it's like this is awesome. I get to be part of the Batman universe somehow. I wanted to be Joker on there so bad, but they had someone else for that. I was like, dang
I
man.
think maybe Joker and art could be like somehow related, like in a parallel universe or something.
Well, I actually definitely based art on a lot of Joker's type stuff. So Joker's my favorite villain. He's my dream role. So if James Gunn's ever out there listening, me and Coach, it would truly put a smile on my face. Yeah, move over, Jared Leto.
Okay. My next question is for Damien. My next question is for Damien. What was the most hardest scene to do that took you a couple retakes, or something that maybe he might have done something embarrassing, on set? That would be like, okay,
Well, he does get embarrassing stuff on set.
So you guys seen
They live.
The hardest scene to
They
shoot.
took a couple of takes, or it's maybe something that he messed up on, they took a couple of trials, you got it right.
Oh, usually anything physical. Anytime he's got to beat somebody up, it's always harder. No, that looks fake. You got to put more muscle into it. I always have to push him there. Everything else he's spot.
So afraid of hurting people.
It's because he's sweet.
He's actually very sweet.
I can think of the one time I was such an idiot when I had to throw Lorne at one point, and we keep doing it take after take after take after take. He's like, "Dude, you're throwing her wrong. You're throwing her." I'm like, "I'm throwing her. What am I doing wrong?" And the thing was, I was throwing, and I would just keep my hands out straight every single time, and he's just getting. I'm getting so frustrated with myself because I'm like, I don't know what he wants. And he's like, "No, dude, you keep your hand." I'm like, "Oh," and I felt so because Lauren every single time. God bless her. She had to keep flying over this crypt and doing this throw over, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot. I mean, I think we did like more than 10 takes of me, and it's just like, oh man, I feel like an idiot. It's like, oh, I just had to keep doing my arms. I'm like, what am I doing here? Oh Lord. It was really, really late at night.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, just sometimes it's very technical with the camera, and sometimes just focus is tough to get. I mean, the shots just keep going out of focus. You gotta keep doing it for reasons like that.
Well, thank you, and I'm gonna try watching all 3 movies, and someday I would like to see a crossover film, maybe with art teamed up with maybe a Freddy Krueger, Jason, or Michael, and stuff like that.
Freddy would be nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to say, I'm glad we're able to do the laundromat butt shot in one take, though. I think everybody was grateful for that.
Hey guys,
What's up?
I spoiled my question before I came up here.
earlier.
Oh?
But I wanted to ask if, you know, God willing, what kind of crossover would you like to see? Like, what would be your perfect vision to see? Like, who do you think art would bounce the most well on?
Yeah, I think Freddie, honestly, because I think they have similar senses of humor, and now art's just living in this sort of supernatural world where the two of them could really collide. I would love to see them just team up and go to town.
I also like more modern character you've seen in movies would be Nicolas Cage's character from Willy's Wonderland. Both being silent characters, I think that would be a crazy matchup. Plus, it's Nicolas Cage. That would be fun.
There'd be no dialogue, though.
Yeah. No, it'd be a silent movie. It'd be great. Yeah.
But I did want to ask as well, in terms of that, how much of it was actually you being silent and how much of it was editing? Because I've gone back and rewatched the films, you did not make a peep. No breathing sounds, no grunting, nothing. How much of that was actually you?
It's mainly Dave being silent, yeah. Sometimes I tell him to laugh real loud because it's gonna make a different expression, and I'm like, I'm obviously gonna take it out later, but you can like laugh harder, you know what I mean? So that happens too, or there's many times where I'll use a take that's basically an outtake. When Sienna spits the blood in his face, and then he pushes her through the floor, and then, she collapses at the bottom, and then he kind of just like makes this kind of like, this gesture like that, like, look at that shit kind of thing. Like, I had yelled cut, and he's laughing. He's like, I didn't know she was going to spit in my face. And he's like literally talking like in that scene, and I just cut out so it's a natural reaction that he's doing that I love, and I just took the voice out.
There's a story behind that too, because that was done in one take with her spitting in my face. And the funny thing was, Lauren tells me before that she's like, I've never actually had a spit before. And yeah, like really just like, and she had like all that blood in her mouth and everything. And they told me, that, okay, on the count of 3, she's gonna spit in your face. So I'm like, okay, cool. 1, 2, I'm like, oh God! So they totally did Hans Gruber on me, if anybody's familiar with what they did to Alan Rickman during Die Hard. It's like, because they dropped him on 2 instead of 3, so you get that real reaction from him. And that's exactly what they did. And she got me good. I was like, gosh, she just like, I felt like, Venkman getting slimed. It was just like, I was like dripping off my nose. And that's why I started laughing. I was like, oh my God, that's your first time ever doing a spit take. Well done.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys.
Hello.
I'm Leah. As someone who's like super intrigued into the horror filmmaking process and someone who wants to be a part of it one day, what do both of you do to prepare for the whole process in general?
Prepare for it. I don't know if you're ever really prepared for it. You just kind of dive in. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, it's all preparation. Everything is really prepared. The hardest thing for me is writing. Horrible process. It's very, very discouraging, very disheartening. I mean, you feel like everything is just terrible. It's just you and the page. And especially for a filmmaker, I love the filmmaking process. I love the visuals. I love getting in there with the actors and seeing the characters. But just facing the blank page is so scary. So to prepare for that, my God. I mean, my schedule, I just basically finished the script for part 3. I mean, he just read it 2 nights ago for the first time. And that process is just gearing myself up every night to be able to write. I don't start writing till 9 o'clock at night. I want to start as soon as I wake up, but I just can't get my mind there until about 9 o'clock at night, and then I write till about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I sleep till 1 in the afternoon. So I'm like living it's horrible. It's like a vampire. And that's how it gets done. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but I mean, you just really got to just dive in, and it's all painful, the whole process, the whole way. You find little moments of happiness, but a lot of it is just stressful work.
Yeah, with me, it's a little bit different. For other like plays or films and stuff like that, I usually have dialogue, so I usually have to spend all the time sitting there really going over my lines, memorizing all that. That's usually where I do all the character work as well, and figure out all the motivations, all that good stuff. With art, I don't have any of that, so I just kind of like, okay, I still do my homework. arc. So I have to think of all the motivations going on with art. What is he thinking in these moments? Because that's what I do when I'm on set. Instead, since I don't have lines, I make up my own dialogue in my head because I have to have something for myself just so I can go off beat-wise. And it gives me an opportunity to actually react the way I would react. My facial expression, my body just react the way they should off of the dialogue I have going on in my mind and stuff like that. So I always, I don't do the whole method acting thing that, some other actors do. I think my co-stars are very grateful for that, even though I still like to scare the crap out of one. But I just do my homework before I come, and I know where we're supposed to go for that day. I know what my mindset needs to be in. So before the scenes start, I'm just myself. I'm making silly voices, joking around and stuff like that. And then I just take a few seconds. I go, okay, gotta go, and angry eyes. Then I'm hard. Then as soon as they say cut, I'm just like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm sorry if I hurt you. It's like, you just do your homework, I guess.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Do your homework, kids.
Yeah, I had a question about, I know you had a deal with Springbox, and I was just curious if you had any talks with any other studios or streaming services.
For part 2, we spoke to a lot of people, yeah, and for part 3 especially, because once part 2 was successful, then all these studios were interested and they wanted to take a crack at Art of the Clown and see if there was something. So I had a lot of meetings with some studios and decided not to go with any studios because I was so afraid that they were going to make me water it down. That was the impression I was getting, and I knew based on just the first 5-6 pages of Terrifier 3, they were never going to let me make this movie the way I wanted it to be made, and they were going to demand a lot of changes and stuff. So, working with Cineverse and Screenbox, they're amazing. They completely believe and respect my vision. They let me go unrated, which is kind of essential to this franchise. So it's wonderful. So I just want to, I'm very happy to be with them, to be making part 3 with them. So you guys are going to love the Mayhem part 3, I promise you.
I just want to say I like your joke, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, there it is.
Hey!
See,
Hello, David and David.
What's
Very
up?
good to see you guys again. As you can see, I love Art the Clown. I dressed up all 3 days. It's been so fun playing it. So again, thank you guys for being here. And my question is, in Terrifier 2, what was your favorite season of the movie? Or, the favorite scene of the movie? And was there any deleted scenes that didn't make it in the movie?
Well, deleted scene was it was that Chris Jericho scene in the asylum that we had to redo. Favorite scene? I'd say it's a toss-up between the Clown Cafe and the laundromat. I really love. I love the alley bedroom kill too. I'm very proud of that. So it would be between those 3 probably.
So you enjoyed David being on?
Being on.
on.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That was one of my, because I love, to me that's the most original. To me that's the most original scene in the entire movie, because I've never, everything else it's so hard to come up with completely new things. I've never seen a killer go into a laundromat and just get naked and wash his clothes. Wash the blood out of his clothes.
I'll reenact it right
It was very cold.
So I really enjoy this.
I definitely enjoyed, of course, the Clown Cafe scene a lot. I mean, that was a cool week on set for us because we had a lot of our fans on set for us that were the Go backers. So that we had been filming for a few months at that point. It was literally the week before everything shut down for COVID. And so it was like the fans brought a whole new life to all of us that had been working for months on this on set, and we had a blast every night. We'd go out and party and stuff like that, going the next day. And there's also nothing prepares you for actually lighting a human being on fire with a blowtorch. That was freaking awesome. I did that and the Tommy gun in the same day, so I had to actually call my dad up at the end of the day, Dad, you would never believe what I just did today. I am like a little kid on set all day. I'm like, this is amazing. So I had so much fun with that scene. Also, I really loved doing the costume shop scene as well. That was just like when he wrote that scene, I'm like, this is gonna be one of my favorite scenes. I can already tell, because it's like he basically wrote, Art goes in there and just plays with the props, because we didn't know what was going to be on set, and so I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be an opportunity for me just to experiment, and it's also our little homage to Pee-wee's Big Adventure in a lot of ways. So, you know, rest in peace, Paul, you know, but I had so much fun because he gave me like free reign to just really experiment with all the props there. I mean, there's probably half a movie right there of him playing around with all the
He plays
props.
with a whoopee cushion, he puts on so many other different pairs of glasses. Like, in the script it just said, there's all these wacky glasses, and every time Sienna turns around he's wearing a different pair. But we didn't know what the glasses were going to be, so I just ordered a huge box of all these various glasses. We just loaded up that rack, and I just let him go through them. And then I just picked my favorite ones, and my favorite one was obviously the sunflower ones, because I thought he looked like a bug or an alien. I was like, that was so freaky. And I never thought that was going to look at this guy's burning one. I never thought those were going to take off like that.
That was just fun, and then everybody was giggling so much when he said that night too. Plus, that place was a cool location to film into. It's at Abracadabra in New York City. It's a big, huge like costume shop and magic shop. So I was in between takes. I'm just walking around, and they're like, "Oh my God, this place is amazing."
Yeah, we're usually never in comfortable environments. It's always freezing, or even like the Clown Cafe. I mean, those are all Sienna's bedroom, the yellow room, the kill scene. Those are all filmed in a set, and our set is there's a barn in the middle of nowhere with no heat, and we always get stuck shooting in the winter no matter what we try and plan. So it's miserable. But so like that was nice. The costume shop had heat, no blood really.
The only one that was miserable was Jason, because he
was allergic to the cat. There was a cat in there that was terrorizing.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Paul up here.
Hey,
how you doing?
You look so normal in real life. It's amazing to know you are the perfect black hair.
That's the first time he's ever heard that.
I know. I was like, what?
I think you look normal. Very good.
Thank you. Who do you know? He works in the freak show at the circus. Like,
On the weekends.
on the weekends.
Yeah. Anyway, my question is, I'm sorry, would you ever consider blessing us with a remake of one of the best clown movies from the 80s, Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I would love to. I wish. Yeah. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, one of my first favorite movies. You'd be great as an all-time.
Oh, thank you. I would love to. That would, God, that would be so much
Maybe
fun.
as a part 3?
I'm sure they're gonna remake it. I'm sure. So.
I hope you get it. Hope you get our part 3 scene. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What's up, buddy?
So my question is, in Terrifier 1, what was your thought process behind when Art pulled out the gun and shot Terra? Because to me that felt like a complete break with the horror rules, you know, something that's usually reserved for the hero.
Right.
So what was your thought process?
Yeah, I didn't know about this slasher code until after I apparently broke it. Again, trying to do new things, take familiar tropes and see if I could put a spin on them. So, like a few things. I think I wanted to challenge myself. And the gun goes back to All Hallows Eve. I did that, which was the short film Terrifier. It was the first time he pulls out a gun. And even back then, I wanted to see if I could put a gun in the hands of someone like Freddy or Jason and actually have them use it and see, like, could that be scary? Could a slasher actually do it? And would it work? And I'm not sure if it did, but it's pretty polarizing. But I knew in that moment, using it in part 1, Terrifier, that way would be really effective. Like, I knew that there would be a big mix of reactions. I mean, some people would love it, some people would be absolutely shocked. I mean, I'll never forget the first time we saw that with an audience. When that scene happened, I never heard simultaneously cheers, boos, laughs, and everything you could imagine happened at once with that scene. But it's so Art the Clown. It's everything. That, to me, that symbolizes everything. He's a cheater, like he's unpredictable, and especially in part 1, that's when the movie kind of shifts tones and flips, and that's when it becomes about art. And you realize it's not like that. It becomes Art's movie. You know, part 1's about Art. It's him as the villain. He's the lead character now. And part 2 is really about Sienna. That's when we bring in the nemesis and the adversary. But I love the gun, and to me, and then he has to still use it like a slasher. So he's making her suffer with it. He doesn't just kill her quick. I mean, he's just shooting her. And then once he does kill her, then he mutilates her even more. He just destroys her face. So it's just still in keeping with the character.
Well, I love seeing the new things they all do in the horror, so keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Zen.
Hello.
So I do love horror games and films, but I'm also really weak in the stomach when it comes to seeing a lot of gore. So two questions. One of them is there any scene for you guys specifically filming it and doing it, or acting it, that kind of made you a little sick in the stomach, that you were like, that's a little fucked.
This is, well, yeah, I know you, I mean, when, you remember the one with you when you were digging through Kaylee?
Yeah, like I had two, I'd say I have two. The first of all was there with Brooke Kill, having just to dig inside the innards inside of her, because all the stuff he had, I did not know what all he had inside of his chest cavity. And it was a mixture of textures and...
We use real stuff.
Yeah. I was like, there's bones, there's gizzards, there's all kinds of squishy things, and just nasty. And it was right before we had to eat dinner too, and I'm like, great. And I'm just, that's one of those times I'm glad they weren't running sound, because I'm sitting there going, oh God, what is
No, we were running, because I have that.
Oh no. I'm just like, oh God, what am I doing? Basically, I sound like Jerry Lewis. Right? Oh no, the slime and the intestines and the foam. And they're like, okay, we're breaking for dinner. And I'm like, guys, and they just leave me in there, and I got all this crap all over my hands. I'm like, help me. I'm gonna get E. coli and everything. And the other one was during Allie's kill, because there are like a few things that actually gross me out in movies, and it's all stuff I've experienced myself, like anything with an eyeball, anything with a broken bone, that makes me go, and he did both of that in that kill scene, and I'm just like, the arm, the thing he built for me to break the arm, I was like, oh my God, just and I was like, oh boy, you're really testing me tonight, buddy.
Yeah, well, I never get nauseous hours because it's all the effects that I'm building. I want them to be, you know, I actually get happier the more repulsive they get, yeah. But I did get lightheaded once during the whole process of making the movie when I was editing her kill scene. It was before any music was put in or anything, and I was just listening to her scream for hours with just no music, so it was just a woman screaming like bloody murder, and I remember, I forgot like I was cutting a movie, and it really like hit me, and I was like, oh Jesus, and I'm like, yeah, and then I called him, and I was like, dude, I'm cutting that scene, and I just got lightheaded. I think this thing's gonna work. So that was the only time. And that's a testament to Casey, honestly. I mean, like what she brought to that role in that moment, because you can't really, I mean, I guess you can, but we didn't. I mean, you can't really push somebody to see how far they're gonna go in an audition or something in that scenario until they're actually in the moment. So we saw a little bit of what she could give us, but we were all kind of, you know, inside we were like really hoping and, you know, cheering her on, being like, is she really gonna bring it? And my God, when she started screaming in that room, we were like, oh shit.
All right, that's for 5 days
straight. Yeah, I mean, she really had to suffer. Like I said, we shot that in a set, in a barn in the middle of the winter, and she's just wearing a bra and panties. I mean, she's covered in blood and prosthetics. I mean, it was brutal. She'd have to go in the corner in front of the space heater while we were like setting up a shot, and then she'd come back in, and she was getting stuck to the rug when she was crawling because the blood's so sticky, and I had to follow her with a spray bottle of water just to like loosen her joints and like, you know, so she wouldn't stick to herself. It was awful. And she didn't complain one time, it was amazing.
My second question is, do you ever plan on maybe going into the game industry and like maybe putting
yes.
maybe like DVD type, because you know there's a
yes. That may very well happen, Dead by Daylight. We're on their radar. There's been some preliminary talks.
I can't wait. I play it all the time, so
we would be on Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
We love just his own game, just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre style or Friday the 13th would be amazing. So I'm sure eventually.
Someone modded art recently to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And it looks insane. Yeah, you've seen it? It looks absolutely stunning.
Whoever did that, dude. I mean, they had like my posture, my mannerisms, everything down. I was like, my God.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So, yeah, for sure. You will definitely get video games with art. Yeah.
I'm a huge gamer, so
So we're running out of time. One last question. Sorry, guys. Maybe you.
What's up, Art?
You want me to hold? Okay. I thought he was saying this morning.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's a way to wrap it. I love it. Okay, well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Your personality is amazing. Keep at it. And of course, please come by and see them before they're gone. Go by their table. And remember, they are the future of horror.
Thank you so much. It's been an amazing week, and you guys are incredible.
Come see Terrifier 2 November 1st at the theaters for the re-release. There's a little extra thing at the end for you guys.
Yeah, if you didn't know, the teaser of part 3 is attached to the re-release of Terrifier 2 on November 1st. It's going to be after the credits, and you're going to absolutely love it. It sets up Terrifier 3. So, thank you again, guys.